So you said when you signed up you want to speak about NextCloud and open source business.
Yes.
So let's take those one at a time. I run NextCloud myself, but tell our listeners what that is.
So it's essentially a private cloud, and with cloud, I mean obviously that's these days anything that happens on somebody else's computer. This is mostly about file sync and share solution. So an enterprise file sync and share solution, if you take a proper Gartner category, and more. So if you look, think of the network drive in the 90s. That's, you know, as a company had a shared network drive. You could all work on there, but you couldn't take files home unless you made a copy and then put them back later, and you know all the mess that you get with that. These days you have file sync and share, so your file sync, like Dropbox introduced 2005, and we offer that with clients, you know, desktop clients, mobile clients. You can access your files everywhere, you can share them, etc. As well as we offer the capabilities that you these days have from Office 365 and Google Drive and Google Docs, so you can edit files online with other people, you can comment on them, etc. But the special thing is that it's all on your own server. So you keep your data in the place where you want it, where you need it as a company or as an individual. So we have a few 100,000 NextCloud servers out there with tens of millions of users all combined. Some of them have, you know, 5 million users or 10 million users because they're a big company. Others have 2 users, you know, man and wife just sharing their files together, maybe with family members. So that's, in a nutshell, what NextCloud is.
So in addition to being an open source project, it's a business.
Yes.
And of course, I work at Red Hat, so I have one vision of what an open source business looks like. But what does that look like to your company?
It's actually extremely similar, because when we started the company in 2016, in the middle of 2016, our goal was to basically model it on Red Hat's business model. So provide a fully open source product, no, you know, proprietary components or open core model or shenanigans like that. Just focus on providing something fully open source so that the customers can trust that we have to have their best interests at heart, because otherwise you don't survive. That's the beauty, I think, of the open source business model. It guarantees alignment, I think, between the customers, users, and the companies that provide it. And yeah, we provide essentially support, consulting services. We essentially guarantee that when you deploy NextCloud as a system administrator in a company, that when the system goes down, you don't get fired for having failed to get a decent, you know, backup, to have somebody to call. Because we are the ones who you can call and you have an SLA with us and we fix your problem. That's, in a nutshell, again, what we offer. Obviously, this comes with other products that are around it, documentation and other services that we help with, training, workshops, etc. But in the end, it all boils down to, we make sure that your NextCloud deployment is successful and you get the most out of it. It works for you, which is obviously what our customers need.
So one challenge that many companies have when they are in a situation like yours is getting a community outside of the company to participate in the open source project. How do you all address that?
Yeah. So, well, if you go back a bit in history, you might know that, of course, Frank Karlachek founded a private cloud project under another name in 2010, and that built a big community before he decided to start a new company, a company around it. That company was based on venture capital and used an open core model, and it subsequently failed and exploded in the US. And we kind of started, we as in the core engineers, as well as Frank himself, we wanted a reboot, try it again with a more healthy, sustainable, long-term vision rather than a rush to pay off the investors. So we found, well, we're basically now self-funded. Actually, the founder of Red Hat Germany, one of the founders of Red Hat Germany, Niels Mache, is one of the managing directors of the company. And together with Frank and of course the others who have been working on this for 5, 6, 7 years, we're building this, and the community that we have built is essentially still with us. We have hundreds of contributors every year, I think over 600 it was last year, people who contribute in various ways. I mean, just today we published version 3.2 of our Android client, which gives you access to your files on your mobile phone. And the major feature is a new file details view from where you share and where you can see the activities, what happened with the file, kind of the history of the file. And this was developed by a volunteer. And it's the major feature of this Android app this time around. So, and this happens all the time. Like, contributors don't just do small things, they do major things. And our company and our whole business would not work without the community, and we're very well aware of that.
What can we expect to see in the next version?
14. Well, as usual, of course, our focus on security, stability, performance. I mean, NextCloud 13 was hugely successful. We had basically, within a week, our update server showed that more than 10,000 servers had already updated. I mean, without any problems. We had gotten no serious bug reports that hit more than like one very unique special situation. So that's, I think, is a testament to the testing that we've done. And stability is again important for NextCloud 14, of course. But we're always looking for upping the ante, especially in collaboration. This is of course what is needed from a file sync and share solution these days. I mean, you don't just want your files available, you want to work on them, right? That's why you want them in the first place. And being able to work with other people, to communicate with other people, this is the direction we're taking NextCloud. So 14 will introduce new collaboration capabilities again, but also focus on this core of file sync and share. We hope to have the end-to-end encryption as a 1.0, and we released it as a tech preview of NextCloud 13. And with 14 we hope to have it in a version that people can use day to day. Some people already do with the Android and iOS clients, but the desktop client is still being tested. Hopefully we'll release test versions soon, and as work up for the NextCloud 14 release later this summer.
Tell us a story. Tell us about one of your users that's using the product in a big way, whether they're a customer or not, that's using the product in a big way to serve their customers, to serve their users.
Yeah. So I actually just finished a really cool case study with the Northwest University of South Africa. They have about 6,000 users right now with NextCloud. They started looking at various solutions a little over a year ago. They're a customer since October last year. And they tried 2 other open source projects that they considered not mature enough. They tried a proprietary product that just didn't deliver any cross-platform capabilities that they needed as a university. So they decided on NextCloud in the end, which they felt was the way forward, so to say. And what they are doing with it is very much to replace this old network drive. So when a researcher, for example, is visiting Europe, they need access to their files, and ideally need them synced. And this was just hard to do. You can work over a VPN, but the reliability of that is limited. The cross-platform capability of their VPN solution was also not that great. So this just caused issues, and it's slow, of course, and it doesn't work in an airplane at 10 kilometers, So they decided to go for NextCloud, and they also use Collabora Online. So they use online document editing, and they told me this is actually very popular with the users. People are used to this. So one important motivation for them, aside from supporting researchers overseas, was simply the fact that the world has moved on. They recognized and they saw that a lot of their employees, especially the new ones, young people, they were frustrated with the technology being delivered by the university to them to some degree. This network drive where you have this one directory, complex directory structure with all these access rights, that only works when you're connected to the network, that you can't take home, that doesn't work on mobile, that doesn't let you share so easily. This was frustrating. People are used to a flat sharing model like Dropbox does it, or Google, to just share and not be blocked by like having to ask the sysadmins to give access to a folder, for example. And this hurted essentially their hiring, and also of course students were complaining. So they needed a modern solution. But at the same time, of course, as a university, you're responsible for the data of your students. But also you have like the researchers' data that is important, that can contain proprietary or privacy-sensitive data. So it was important for them to keep the data under control, know where it is, and not have it hosted in some cloud, right? Some who knows where it is. So they decided again to go with a self-hosted solution. And at the moment we're actually talking to them about NextCloud Talk, because again their existing communication technology, it's not self-hosted, which means that at the very least it leaks metadata, if not the whole content of the conversations. And it's cumbersome and complicated to use. And NextCloud Talk gives you an integrated solution. You're working on a document with someone, and you get a notification that they updated the file or gave a comment on the file. So on your phone, for example, your phone pings, says, hey, somebody commented on the file that you were working on. And you go in the web interface or on your phone and you click and you see the comment and you think, well, I disagree, or you agree. And you can click on the avatar and just start a call with them or a chat. And that kind of integration, rather than having to go to another tool and saying, yeah, I'm talking about this file, and having this all integrated in one smooth workflow is for them important. And I think that goes for a lot of customers, even if they don't yet see it.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
And I will make sure to update to 14 as soon as it comes up.
You should. You should. All right, thank you.
Thank you.